Hello, loyal audience. This is your editor, Zach, speaking. We recently picked up a new microphone. So episode 7, what would have been 7 to you people, has kind of been put on the wayside. If enough people would like us to release that episode on a later date, we will. But since we got a new microphone, I felt it best to continue forward using that microphone to allow for better quality of our podcasts. In that episode, we discussed building 7.62 by 39 AR type rifles. The build idea came up from Sean, and we all decided to opt in on making our own 7.62 by 39 AR-15 rifles. So in the middle of this podcast, we give updates to that project. I'm sorry for leaving you out of context, but I feel as the editor moving forward that this is the best option for your listening pleasure. And maybe one day we will release that episode, but for now, we will just continue on with the one we already are about to release. So bear in mind and bear with our podcast as we learn and sort through these things. We just appreciate your time and patience, and please just keep listening. Thank you.
Yes.
And then Taylor says things like, "Oh, it's not that big, haha." I'm like, "Motherfucker, you're the one going,
Not so hard.
It's like, more fucking foreplay next time.
Well, I'm glad we caught that.
Now we know how that episode's going to start.
After that glorious opening by Taylor, after he was walking out the room, I kind of wanted to get y'all's opinion on kind of the events that are probably going to start unfolding right now with Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
That's what Kamala calls him, Joe Biden. Just one word, Joe Biden. I've been saying that just to kind of make fun of her, but anyway, not the best outcome for the 2A community as far as him winning. We've been seeing some rumblings on the ATF with the honey badger and pistol braces and things like that, but this could not have been worse in my opinion. Trump, not the best as far as 2A goes. He didn't put that forefront in his mind as what he wanted to do.
You ain't got no bump stock, bro.
I'm not saying he was the best, and I was mad about that. But he wasn't the forefront. He wasn't the warrior for the second.
Yeah.
That we all wished that he was.
Due process second, bro.
I know. But I mean, after all of that, at least he hasn't, come after pistol braces. He hasn't tried to take AR-15.
No, he sent the fucking ATF and Department of Justice. Didn't he have them send them a letter of cease and desist on making their own rules and stuff?
They did. He actually signed an executive order to prevent them from being able to just...
they've gone around that.
They have. They've kind of circumvented it in a way.
They haven't cared.
I'm kind of trying to stay positive on it. I'm hoping that's not a big issue that Joe wants to attack first day in the office kind of thing. He's maybe got other priorities that he wants to focus on. Because I think once you go down that road, that's maybe a second term kind of thing. You piss off enough people doing something like that right off the bat, you probably won't get the second term. So maybe. I'm going to stay positive thinking like that.
It's on his website, man. That's the first thing they want to do is control. They want to control us.
I was saying that there's a lot of things that you could want to do. There's not a whole lot of things that you maybe can do. We still do have a lot of protections underneath the law as far as it is right now. With the way the rest of the House and Senate might end up shaking out, if things stay that they are. And, this is if he wins. There's still a lot of legal avenues that have not been gone down yet. Trump is still fighting this. There's a lot of things in the works.
It's fuzzy numbers on the election polls.
Yeah. Yeah, you've even, there's a Limestone County here in Texas.
Yeah.
You're looking at 137 felony counts on that lady down there.
And that's just small scale.
Exactly. You're talking about, Limestone County's.
You're looking at the polls closing in states and them counting all their election day polls, and they're having them numbers, and they're like, oh, we're going to count all the mail-in voting. So after the fact, so we exactly know how much somebody needs to win by.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hearing conspiracy theories about watermarks. I don't know if that's just right-wing rumblings.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about voter fraud, and I don't really want to get into the weeds of all that. There are probably people that will listen to that are on it, that wanted him to win, that don't believe in that, and that's kind of getting off into more of the weeds of the situation. But if he does win, which is looking like he's probably going to be the president,
Joe Biden.
What?
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden his time, maybe.
Joe Biden, the communist ruler of
Joe Biden,
premier communist Joe Biden.
Oh, God.
He's buying his time because I think Kamala and her gang are going to fucking snip. Man, he didn't pick her. She was chosen for him. You see how much shit she talked about him?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted her from the beginning.
She's an evil, gawking bitch. Half Indian cop that puts people in prison.
Maybe they'll legalize weed.
Maybe they'll legalize weed.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay positive here. Come on, y'all.
I'm not saying that we can't get something out of this.
But I will say what we did get out of it. We had the man get president who passed the crime bill in 94 and called black people super predators. And now we have a black vice president who was a police officer and law enforcement stuff, and she imprisoned a lot of black people for shitty crimes they didn't commit.
Yeah.
So they're not for who you think they are. They're evil fucking people.
More her than him is probably the worst. Because he's kind of an old ditter-doddering man who's not all there.
It's like Mr. Magoo's president. Okay?
But she, I think, if you watched her ad, she just put out an ad for basically communism. She put out an ad for communism. That was her slogan. And people are too young and low information voters are out there that don't understand what she's actually proposing.
Low information voters. I like that. Those terms. I've never really heard that.
That's how this is coming into play. Because there's a lot of...
Like undocumented voters in California?
No, I'm saying like people that... The news has done a great job of suppressing everything that's going on.
That's just like the whole Hunter Biden thing. They didn't want to release that.
No, they didn't want to talk about that. They don't want to have anything to do with that.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to suppress news that comes out. And since Google and Facebook are kind of leaning on the side of we don't want to talk about that, you're going to have, what were y'all talking about when we just came in? There's some new up-and-coming site coming up.
Social media is called Parler.
Parler.
I'm not familiar. It claims to be unbiased social media.
It crashed earlier this morning because so many people were trying to join. So
see, we're probably going to make a 3G1B Parler account by the end of the day.
Yeah, because
you're starting to see the splitting of
Ted Cruz is on there already.
I bet
really?
he is.
He beat the curve.
He's pretty much with it. I'll give him that. I like what he says, but I don't know if he has the teeth to
back it up.
Yeah, but talk is half the battle.
But are we going to have a mass exodus from Facebook? Facebook has been so integrated into our daily lives. Could you pull the plug on Facebook?
I have been for about a week now. Me and Alyssa haven't looked at it, haven't got on it. Because we wanted to just sort of come back and come off of it. Because it's so addicting.
Yeah, I want to delete mine.
I don't, like Sean is saying, I don't know if that's going to be top tier on their list of things they want to do.
I was going to say, his little announcement earlier today, I think, he was talking about, for top of his list, first thing was to send a letter to the UN, get back into the climate change, Paris deal and everything.
Oh, good. So my job's fucked. Great.
Well, and to start rebuilding, foreign relations with...
Selling us out to China.
Other companies.
China.
So
we gonna get in that back in that trade deal again?
Probably. Yeah, I think so.
I mean, it's everything that has been done as far as that, because they're establishment people. Trump's kind of the maverick coming in, breaking all that stuff apart.
He can't be bought.
Couldn't be bought type thing. And they're going back to what that used to be. This is the establishment regaining the power.
Yeah.
This is the oligarch, the king, so to speak, in layman's terms, coming back into power and doing away with what the, quote, peasants wanted to do. And I'm just using that as terms. You can get offended if you want, but these are establishment people. These are people that have been in the game for a long time, and they hated the fact that there was an outsider coming in. And I don't think Trump was perfect.
No.
Tim Pool put it the best. He was an imperfect avatar for the rage of the American people, because they were mad that China was taking all our jobs, and he comes in
different,
promised not to be the standard politician,
and he wasn't.
You know, and there's a lot of things you can criticize him for. A lot.
Here's the thing about Trump. You heard about Trump every single day.
And
people talked about him. And it doesn't matter if it's good talk or bad talk. You know why? Because you were thinking about him every single day.
Yes. Yeah. And maybe that's one of the key things I think that really hit home with a lot of people during those debates with Joe Biden is you won't have to hear about him again. And yeah, you won't have to hear about him again, but what are we doing are we going to get back into, you know, more involved in the Middle East and you know, we had some good peace deals go down a few days ago, and now that's out the window. So, you know, but circling back to, we're getting way into the water with politics, and, you know, if it wasn't so relevant to the current conversation around guns right now, we wouldn't be getting into this. What's up?
Did you hear that Trump said that he may run as a libertarian?
I had not. Oh my gosh. That's gonna be nuts. And we might have a Grover Cleveland situation. Y'all know about that? Where Grover Cleveland, I believe it's Grover Cleveland, he got elected, then he got deposed, then he was elected again. 4 years after, 4 years. So it could be something similar. Like, he runs again. Half the country voted for him the first time. It wouldn't take much of a swing. I mean, the final breakdown's been like nearly 50-50 with the rural America basically backing Trump and the cities going for Biden.
Yeah.
Suburbs kind of 50-50.
Let me ask you this. Could you see him as a vice president to anyone?
I think his mouth is too big.
Too big. Couldn't do it. Couldn't just sit there.
I don't think he can do it. He
Pence is the perfect vice president because he's seen but not heard. Like a woman.
I think that he does a really good job of talking, though. During his debate, he was very...
Oh, yes. He's full of tact. He's smart. He's an intellectual. But he knows his role.
I think that he would make... If he was the president...
He stayed in his lane.
If Mike Pence had been the president with all of Trump's policies, I don't know if we would be here.
Yeah.
But
now we got a big mouth bitch gearing up to get in there, so we won't get ready for that.
She's just Hillary Clinton. I mean, she's just Hillary Clinton.
She's just a shade or two darker.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I don't think that's that far off the rocker. She's just she has Indian descent, but she acts like Hillary Clinton. I mean, that's it. I don't know. We're getting off into the weeds into the politics game. I kind of want to circle back with, do you think Joe Biden's ATF is going to... I mean, they're already trying to go for the pistol braces right now. And because
they were gearing up, they were wanting all this to have a Biden win.
Yes.
That's why they're gearing up to do all this, I believe. And
I think they're a bigger threat than Biden. I think the ATF is a bigger threat.
Because they like big government.
Yeah.
They're going to be their hounds for eroding more rights away from the Americans.
Well, I mean,
us,
under Obama, it seemed like every day there was some new thing going on. And I'm kind of going off when people say they're not going to take your guns. To me, that's like, you're coming up to somebody of an ethnic background and say you and try to tell them how that you don't think that they've gone through X, Y, and Z.
It's different. It's a little different now than what it was like in '94. Okay,
right.
So when the assault weapons ban back in '94, there was, you couldn't have a muzzle device, you couldn't have a threaded barrel.
They want to go back on all that.
And so now, though, look at how many people have a threaded barrel. I honestly think I don't have but maybe 3 guns that don't have a threaded barrel already. I mean,
it's become an industry standard.
It is. Everything. Yeah, you've got a muzzle device. You have a muzzle brake. And muzzle brakes, that was something else that was included in the '94 ban. So if they were to try to implement a ban like that, I don't know how that would work. I mean, you're looking at so many people that would either have to be grandfathered in.
They're not going to grandfather you in. The ATF doesn't grandfather anybody in.
So what do you do?
Well, there could be falling back on this common use clause that I've heard about where, they try to get rid of 30-round magazines.
Yeah.
And
standard capacity magazines.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you do that when they're literally in almost every store and there are hundreds and hundreds of millions of these things
and they're
circulation.
They're when you buy your AR, it comes with that 30-round magazine.
Yeah.
Unless you're buying for California compliant,
Or Massachusetts or something.
A compliant state.
Or you could just take the path of the Patriot and zero fucks given.
Well, I mean, you can do whatever you want. We're not
advocating terrorism or violence.
We're not advocating you break the law or advocating that you not comply.
Well, I mean, look at bootleggers back in the 30s.
Right. Bootlickers now.
Bootlickers.
Yeah.
But
I mean, same thing.
You can do what you want. We're not telling you not to do what you don't want to do. It's your choice, dude.
If you want to go to Oregon and smoke crack, you can now.
Yeah.
Peanut butter and crack sandwiches all around.
Maybe we small amounts.
Yes. Okay. I have absolutely no clue about that. I want to talk about this as soon as we get done with the ATF because I do not understand what happened in Oregon.
The ATF was too busy measuring bump stocks and the Q and all that to know that meth is legal in Oregon.
Right. That seems a little bit ridiculous when we're measuring the length of pull of a bump stock and we can go get crack now.
Yeah.
It's still illegal to buy it, but possessing it is not illegal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can have an amount.
Really, you can have for personal use.
But okay, how do you get it? Like, that's the catch-22.
Okay, the idea is not to prosecute you for having a drug addiction.
Okay.
The right thing to do is to help you.
All right, and I can maybe get behind that.
Okay, it's still illegal to manufacture or possess quantities that are just not personal use, but...
Okay, I'm addicted. All right?
Okay.
I have a gun problem. Well, just let me be. Can we get away with that? I don't know.
But let me ask you a question about personal use. Would Snoop Dogg's personal use be more than my personal use?
I think probably. They have
Is there who determines whose has personal use? Or,
They got to have some kind of law where it's like...
if it's a rapper.
how many ounces on your person depend, that sort of thing.
The tour bus clause.
I don't know how all of this is going to shake out, especially with the police defunding thing.
Yeah.
So they're telling you can't call the police, but then they're wanting to get rid of firearms.
Yeah.
So you can't defend yourself. What are we supposed to do?
Thunderdome.
Have your rocks. Chunk your rocks at them, man.
Well, smoke your rocks and chunk your rocks.
Yeah.
Both kinds of rocks are acceptable.
We got all kinds of rocks.
And I could see them trying to go after the ammo or attacks on the ammo or just
they
making
talked
it
about
where
that.
It's, I mean, when you go the tax route, normally or, previously in the past, you'd go, well, they're not just going to tax it like that. But look what they did with healthcare and everything else.
Right.
It's not a fine. It's a tax. Or it's not a tax, it's a fine. So reword it, call it the same thing.
One of the good things that I guess I've been listening to a lot of Tim Pool because of all this crap, and
You like him?
I do. I don't necessarily agree with everything that he says,
but he does have some good points. And
you mean you can like somebody that you don't agree with?
Not. I don't want to admit that.
Wow.
I don't agree with everything that he says, but he does have some good points, and he's more left-leaning when it comes to that. But they forced him essentially to be more right-leaning because of the crazy things that are going on.
Well, there's so much shit you can fucking take. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, there's only so much you can do.
Like, he's a left-leaning person, and didn't they take him off Twitter too?
No, he's still on Twitter.
He got deplatformed somewhere.
I don't know where, but YouTube is constantly fighting him and talking, and if you know,
and he's like this little dude that wears a beanie that just talks about
the news.
But
enough people listen to him.
He's left-leaning, in my opinion. Joe Rogan is left-leaning, in my opinion.
But he's too right.
For the left.
Yes.
Too blunt.
I mean, he is. I mean, when you take it into account of all the things that he thinks of. But it's gone so far left that anybody that was considered left 10 years ago is now either centrist or right. Because just because you think gay people should be allowed to live, that doesn't necessarily mean that you think that trans kids should be transitioning at 8, you know?
Yeah.
That's a whole big different ballpark, and some people think that, and some people don't. And just because that 10 years ago you would have been in one camp doesn't mean you're in the same camp anymore.
It's like there's all these weird things coming up now that, like back in the 90s, back in the early 2000s, no, I'm not talking about 60s and 50s, I'm talking about 90s and 2000s.
Yeah.
You would have been like, the fuck? You're telling me that you want to fucking have a kid have transition surgery because they don't like being a boy or a girl? What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's weird. Now, if you say that, oh, what the fuck, man? You can't be saying that.
Why won't you let the kid do what he wants, you know?
You know?
Well, I know we haven't ever broached this subject, but I mean, I can't remember where I was going with before because I was talking about Tim Pool and what he had said. Okay, I remember what I was going to say before we get back off too far off of this. We can talk about that here in just a second. But he said that Trump has basically appointed a ton of conservative judges throughout our court system. Mm-hmm. Like, that is the check mark for these dumb laws that they're going to try to impose. Mm-hmm. Now, he also, with the 3 justices that he appointed, the 3 Supreme Court justices are conservative leaning, and there was already one on the panel.
Yes.
So there is a substantial majority conservative leaning on there. And even the left leaning judges, they have to be within the confines of the law. Mm-hmm. And so if things go up that far to the Supreme Court, if they'll even hear cases, that's one of the big deal. There's a check mark in the court system with bad laws now. There's Supreme Court and textualists and people that are reading the Constitution as it was written, not interpreting it for what we think of it as it is today. And that's a good thing. They're also supposed to hold the Senate. That's a check mark in the whole system. And conservatives gained so much in the House that they lost. The Democrats lost 3 seats, and the conservatives gained 5. It's nearly put it.
Yeah.
They've nearly put it at 50-50. So the American electorate, if you read into that, is saying we want conservatives, we just don't want Trump.
Yeah.
And that's understandable. He's both, for all the good that he's done,
he rubs people the wrong way.
He has character issues.
Yeah.
And people don't
he's not part of the establishment either.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
He won't act. People want a president that's kind of charismatic and kind of shows the best of what America is, and I don't think that that's Trump.
But do you think
his crassness rubs people the wrong way?
Yeah. I think that was ultimately probably the downfall too.
Yes.
And it wasn't it was a whole lot between him winning and losing.
Did you see all the libertarian votes?
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like, maybe if Kanye wasn't on the ballot, maybe a few more would have went towards Trump, and he might have got it.
No, if everybody that voted for Joe would have voted for Trump, he would have definitely been.
But I ended up. We're in Texas, and I knew that Texas was probably going to go with Republican. Everybody I know, within reason, had voted for Trump. And I put my vote to Joe Jorgensen because if they don't ever get any votes, they never get a presence on the stage. They will not get federal funding. They don't have the same powers as the two major parties if nobody votes. They have to have 15% of people vote for them.
Did they get that this year?
No, they only had one in the total grand scheme of things. Now, in Georgia, that might have mattered. But most everywhere else, it was a 50-50 split. And you're thinking that all of those votes are going to go to the Conservative Party if they didn't. Some of them, or at least a third of them, would have probably gone to Biden, too.
There's a lot of, I think,
maybe they were left, but they weren't that far left.
Yes.
So,
there's a lot of people that I deal with that didn't like either one, so they voted for Libertarian.
Yeah. I mean, I only voted for her because if they don't get enough of the vote, they won't get enough. They'll never be on the stage to debate their views.
To put their view out there.
I didn't like Jorgensen's views. She said some stupid shit and wants to buy into the, critical race theory stuff and all that thing. But you gotta shoot your shot. You know what I'm saying? So even my one vote didn't go to Trump, but Texas was won by it. Now, if we were in a more of a swingy state area, I probably would have voted for Trump.
Texas almost was a swing state.
Well, they wanted it to be really bad, but at the end of this, it wasn't. It really wasn't.
So another thing I think about is why did they bring Biden up to run as the president?
Obama nostalgia.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because there were some really good. I sat there and I watched. And there's actually some moderate Democrats that I really liked.
Tulsi Gabbard would have been
her.
I would have at least thought that she would have been capable to do things.
Her, yes. And then the other
She took Kamala Harris to town. She effectively ended Kamala Harris's whole career in a day when she took her to town. And that's what I don't get why, they wanted her to be the superstar the entire time and nobody liked her. And Tulsi Gabbard just eviscerated her on national TV.
Yes.
And it was the end, and she couldn't come back for that. The only way she's come back for it is because the establishment picked her for VP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they told Biden, you're going to take her.
Yes.
Yeah.
I liked the lady I liked was the one from up north.
I don't know.
Oh, what was her name? I can't remember her damn name off the top of my head. But they had to pick Biden.
I don't know who are you trying to talk about?
She was a Democrat candidate from up north.
Warren?
No, not Pocahontas.
Andrew Yang?
No, it was a woman.
He was okay.
Gang, man.
I mean, I think he would have been a better choice than Biden.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
he's kind of like borderline technocrat,
I mean, true, but I just think that
it would be interesting to see what it would be like to have
universal income.
Well, yeah.
I think we just see a bunch of inflation.
It'd just be a bunch of...
Yeah, it wouldn't work. I mean...
Like, this bread is $50?
No, it's... I got a $2,000 check this month for doing nothing.
And my
bread is $50?
Yeah.
If it's there at all. Because, hey, he got a check, too, for not doing nothing. Why does he need to go to work?
That's, that's what... And that kind of goes back to the what you want to do and what you can do type thing. For all that happened, for all he wanted to do, Trump didn't. I mean, he did get a lot done, but he couldn't do everything he wanted to do.
No, and it falls like that every time you've got.
I wonder what's going to happen to all these Trump blankets and Trump flags that you see for sale everywhere. And
oh, they're hardcore. They're not giving up.
You're not giving them up.
No, me and Alyssa just seen we were headed out to go to her house for family event and. We seen them gather in a church and a train of them rolling down old Jacksonville.
So are we going to have like some like post inauguration Trump strongholds or something?
Probably.
They're going to have to send some Joe Biden carpetbaggers in here to convince us that he's president now?
I don't know. What a great term, though. I've never heard that used in a sentence. Joe Biden carpetbaggers. Oh, man. It's really not the best outcome that we would have hoped and wanted for, but there's nothing we can do about it. United States of America, and as much as maybe some people would like Texas to be its own thing again.
Or just balkanize.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. But you will start to see the secede come back like Obama. There was Texas and the secede thing. I think that's going to make
I think we just need a group of states need to fucking
break
not
off.
just one state, but like let's just take all their southern oil production and just branch off. We'll be like the
we'll take the natural gas from Louisiana.
Yeah, I think like the Gulf Coast Gulf Coast just branch off.
Mm-hmm.
Where else are they gonna get oil from?
I don't know.
Well, no, they
we'll
got
be the oil producers of America.
They got their wind farm. They don't want that.
Mm.
They don't want nothing to do with that. And have y'all seen that? Of course, Oak Hill Mine up here.
Yes,
they're going completely solar farm now.
Oh, yeah. Okay. See, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and then
Oak Hill,
Perky is closing, and then Perky's coal mine that supplies them is closing.
Well, they're dug out.
He's old, yeah.
They're dug out. That's why these these coal plants around here, they didn't close because of global warming and emissions. They closed because they're old and they're dug out. They're out of coal.
Yeah.
So the Oak Hill, that's the company I work for.
Yeah.
They're all moving to solar
because
they're opening solar farms, but that's good as long as the sun's shining and the battery or the windmill's as good as the wind's blowing.
And China's mining the batteries.
The battery technology, though, has gotten incredible.
Well, yeah, but
have
China
you ever seen
owns every mine.
Yeah, even Africa.
Yeah, China owns every single mine where all your supplies.
We'll have instead of blood dye, it'd be blood cobalt, blood lithium.
Lithium. Yeah,
blood. But let me tell you this: have you ever seen a battery bank blow up, a small one? Like you have one that powers a whole area, but
I mean, I'm a fan of nuclear, but
I agree with that.
I know it's got
I don't know why.
As far as everything goes, I think it's the most efficient.
And it's the most efficient. The greenest.
Yeah.
Most of your nuclear plants around the world, in the U.S. in particular, are aging.
Well, yeah, but Homer Simpson.
They're working on making some smaller nuclear plants now. But the thing is the waste. It's the not waste, but like your rods when you had to refuel your old rods and storing them. I don't know why we just don't get with Tesla and Elon Musk and just blast them off into space.
Yeah,
towards the sun.
Yeah.
Well, I've always heard that, like you said, that nuclear energy is probably the best, and that's what we're going to have to eventually go to because it'll be the most efficient.
We got a lot of natural gas.
Oh, yes,
a ton.
But the prospect of something scares too many people.
It does, but again, like we were talking earlier, you got to think about the mindset of people in the 90s versus now. I think that nuclear is an easier sell now than what it was 30 years ago.
Maybe. And I mean, I would like to see, that's the thing that I wouldn't mind investing in companies that are trying to do alternative energy. Well, that's not a bad thing.
Or the things that we have now that are more efficient than they were. So where I work at, we'll use this as an example. So I have like a, in-depth kind of first-hand experience with power production. I work at a natural gas-fired power plant. It's a boiler, it's a steam-driven turbine. It's just, we got a fireball in there, it heats the water in a drum, it pressurizes steam, and that's what turns the turbine. That's an old-school technology. Still very relevant for today. And
everything's a turbine.
In the market. But no, there's actually, you have your CTs, which are combustion turbines, which are basically like jet engines hooked on a generator, on a shaft to a generator. That's what makes electricity. Then you have your combined cycles, which takes the steam-powered plant and the combustion turbine It's called, they're combined cycles. So you got your CT, your combustion turbine running, making power. The exhaust off those combustion turbines is 1100 degrees. It is piped into a heat recovery boiler that makes steam, and then those turns steam turbines, and so it's more efficient. They're very efficient, but we can't just like all go to wind and solar in one day.
Well, no, and then the wind too. You've got the getting rid of the towers themselves versus what it takes to actually build the towers, get the towers up. The wind towers are not an efficient
and the blades are not degradable or recyclable.
They don't break down. They don't degrade. We already don't know what to do with them. I mean, I know we paint them, we build them. They're completely pointless.
Yeah, I don't know about when in his debate he was talking about emissions from Trump was saying something about wind emissions or something like that. Is that true?
Wind emissions?
I don't know. He said I don't know enough about. He said something that it produces some kind of an emission. I have no idea what that was about.
Maybe, I know you have your emissions from the actual manufacturing process of it all, and then...
See, that's part of the reason.
Oil in the gearboxes.
Oil in the gearbox. They take a lot of oil, and they leak, and the wind turbine thing just definitely is.
And they do legit kill a lot of birds. I mean, if you care
small scale wind turbines, probably aren't bad. The bigger they get, the more involved they are.
Yeah.
The tidal wave technology stuff.
Now that I like.
That I like too.
That's pretty cool. Where you have the buoys that move up and down with the waves and the tides coming in and out. That's definitely something that.
No, I think investing in alternative energy is a good thing. I mean, we do have a fossil fuel problem, but at the end of the day, how are you going to put that many people out of business? How are you going to...
You have to already have something lined up because, you're not just looking at the jobs, of everybody in the oil field, but look at the money that they put back into it because that same guy that's making, $33 an hour and he's working 120 hours a week when he's off, he's buying the boat that Skeeter's making where Skeeter's employing, so many people.
And he's eating the food.
And eating the food. And so, it's just a big... So, that money goes round and round and round. And if you don't have something
another thing
ready to go.
Relates to me is the farming, is the methane emissions from the cattle, supposedly. And cattle so much methane.
Well, okay, so up north, it's real popular in Wisconsin. They'll just take all the carcasses, put them in a big vat. They break down. The gas is released. It's then piped through, and it pipes directly into the methane.
Well, they're talking about cows farting.
That's
a methane, and that's contributing
to the greenhouse.
I don't know.
How much math does it take to figure out how much a cow farts? And then
AOC can probably do it.
Well, and then that just provides the point, why be, vegetarian or vegan? That's one more cow you could eat. Really cut down on
one more cow we have to make to replace that cow. Though.
But also, let's get back. What do y'all's predict? You think our ammo's just going to be gone off the shelves from now here on out?
No, they'll catch up with manufacturing at some point, but does it happen before or after some kind of a tax is imposed or some kind of a limit or some kind of I have to take them my hunting license and show them that I took a course or have some kind of insurance before I can buy this box of ammo. And I'm limited to 2 boxes of ammo this month.
Well, and the fact that it doesn't really matter because there's always going to be somebody out there that's going to automatically see the 5 boxes of ammo and just take it all because they're fucking worried about it.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of underlying issues going on here, and I don't know where we stop. From what I understood, I've been watching some players in the YouTube scene, and they say that if Trump got elected or gets reelected through his court battles or whatever, we would probably see the end of this panic buying by sometime in March.
Yeah.
Now that it's looking like Joe is going to take over, it might be a couple years if they don't institute some sort of stupid law.
Yeah, and I mean it takes time because obviously every ammo manufacturer, they're going to be dyed up to make the ammo that gets them the biggest profit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, last time was kind of a culmination of them talking about banning stuff. Obama was in office, and then you had the military that the government bought a substantial amount of ammo,
Homeland Security,
all
right?
simultaneously. Yeah, and so there was a manufacturer shortage due to that, which, I mean, it's a similar setup right now. It's a manufacturer shortage right now, and they're not going to change their dies to 22 ammo right now. They're going to be making whatever has the biggest profit margin for them. And then when that volume gets up to where it needs to be, then they'll re-die to their next, and till they get down the line. And it'll get restocked at some point if Taylor doesn't buy it all.
Well, it's
I
not
haven't bought
really
any.
Taylor. It's the guy that's there at 4:00 as soon as the store opens, and is
Know a few of them.
It's the guy that's buying it and then going on Facebook and selling it for more money.
Yeah,
that's happening
and
too.
you have them
And they get mad when I laugh react their Facebook post.
for their 75-cent 45 9mm
Yeah.
ammo.
And
least
then
I
they
sold
free
it for
capitalism, and
I mean, capitalism. Hey, I'm not going to knock them.
No.
They're the ones that they're willing to be there at 4 a.m. to get it. That they're putting effort into it.
Okay,
Right.
I've got a practical question. How much? You say like, okay, in this scenario where it's all banned, how much do you even need, or can you even have? Because in a realistic things, you're not going to be carrying around, like, let's say you're being hunted because it's this new apocalypse that we're going through or whatever.
Oh yeah, I mean that's just with the
you gotta
zombie
have-
apocalypse, you're only going to stay at your same location so long before you have to go out.
So
and
now you
search
got to
for
carry,
Caches, bro.
food. Yeah,
Resupply caches, bro.
yeah.
it seems like it's short-sighted in a lot of ways, because you're not going to be able to, yes, you'll have a stockpile of ammo that you can shoot, but if it really comes down to it where they're knocking doors and it's a full-on boogaloo, like some people think that's going to happen, how are you going to carry around 400 rounds of 5.56? You're not.
Yeah.
It's just not going to do it. So the best thing to do,
400 rounds ain't a lot when you're carrying around loaded.
but I'm just saying, like, most people have, like, I don't know what the standard carry for, like, a soldier is. Maybe, like,
7 or 8 magazines.
7 or 8 magazines.
Plus, I think you're going to have some.
You might have a few in your box, maybe 10 total. But
300 rounds or so, I think.
But I'm saying, like, maybe it's not loaded up. It's not. There's only so much shit you can carry.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah.
And
then that goes back to what is your plan? Is your plan to post up and not move, or is your plan to move?
And I mean, this is nightmare scenario stuff. Like, this isn't something I don't think is going to happen. For all the talk of everybody doing, like, oh, we're going to, everybody has a life at the end of the day.
I'm a little disappointed. I'll just be honest. I was really hoping by now the coronavirus would have changed into some kind of zombie thing. I was really looking forward to it. And I feel like it just got let down.
Where are the Proud Boys at? They're not out running around screaming.
Yeah, I don't
And do y'all
know
notice nothing's on fire? Nobody's getting their windows broke. Nothing's getting looted.
Well, they kind of got
right now.
See, I think you're seeing that what's the inverse of thing is like, oh yay, we won, we can go home now.
Yeah,
And it's like, and then the extremist people are like, no, we gotta still do. But it's gonna be the same thing that happened to Trump when the Trump slump, whenever he got elected, all the gun stuff went down. Because nobody's buying ammo. We can breathe now.
Mm.
So the kind of thing I think you're going to start to see is kind of like the opposite of that happening.
Everybody's going to be stocking. Everything's going to go up in price. With this, you're still going to see back ordered on everybody's website. And then if he starts pushing it or he starts talking about it, then you're really going to see a shortage.
So the worst part about this whole thing, if you read his website, is that he wants to stop the internet sale of gun parts.
Mm-hmm.
And what does that entail? Joe, because that means, are you talking about gas blocks? Are you talking about barrels? Are you talking about Magpul stocks? I mean, that could mean so many things.
And why take it off the internet? Now what? We're going to be forced to go back to the...
Like 1990s and have shotgun
I got a
news?
magazine. Yeah, I got a magazine that's going to come in. I'm going to order my gun parts out of it.
I figure you would see stuff like...
So the Zoomers quit buying stuff.
I guess, because it's too accessible. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I remember looking through magazines and like Natchez and Sportsman Guide, Cheaper and Dirt before they were Cubs, and like Shotgun News. That's where you used to buy all your shit out from.
Yeah.
Call them up, be like, yo, give them a credit card. They send you your shit.
Yep.
I mean, there's alternative ways around this shit. But
Gun show loopholes.
we don't perpetuate bullshit. So, do you think like Magpul? I thought about this. You know, let's say they do that. They ban all your plastic shit, all your plastic parts. Now we have a local gun store like Superior that sells all that shit. You can just go up there and
some
buy
of us don't
it.
go to them though.
Here's the problem though, like you said with Superior, and that's what you would catch with anything. If you can't get it online, if I can't order it, then there's somebody in town that's going to third party it.
Right.
And all it's going to do is cause inflation on the price.
Right.
I'm still going to be able to get it. It's not going to stop me. I'm going to go get what I want to get, and I'll just have to pay what I have to
3D print,
pay
bro.
for it. 3D print. You still be able to get it, but it is going to cost an extra step, an extra person, and more money.
Yeah, it's
at the end of the day,
I guess that's what they want.
Yeah.
I mean, they want to
make
it
so difficult,
unavailable.
Yeah.
But
make it so difficult or so far out of your price range.
I was thinking like maybe Magpul's a big player in this whole thing. Would they start setting up brick and mortar stores?
And you might
so
that
you can go and it's not through the internet and they're a licensed gun part dealer, so you can go and buy shit.
You're an FFL and you have your distributors you buy stuff from.
Absolutely.
And you order online. How's that? It's just, you know.
It's just complicating shit. That doesn't need to be.
That's making you go through the step of getting your FFL, carrying the insurance. But it's a thought, you know. Then you'll have somebody, you know, and you know, just like one of us. Oh, yeah. Why not get our FFL?
I mean, it's just going to push people into doing that stuff. Guns are such a prevalent force in America that all of you anti-gun people just need to understand they will not go anywhere. You will let's say you make a law banning AR-15s. Well, we might not have quote AR-15s anymore. They'll just look a little bit different with a regular rifle stock. The only thing you're doing is banning plastic parts because as soon as they figure out what's illegal, people will innovate and they will come up with something else that
like the assault rifle.
Well, let's say the 94. Say that pistol grip. Pistol grip was no. That was in the 94 ban. Thumbhole stocks. Same thing. Picatinny rails.
Picatinny rails were in them?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
I mean, there was a lot of shit that was just there that now it's an industry standard.
Yes.
That's what it comes down to, industry standard.
Hell, we don't even really use it. I mean, Picatinny rail really is just for optics mounts now. Everybody's going to M-Lock.
Yeah.
For, you're going to ban M-Lock? Slots.
Slots, yeah. Slots and metal. Yeah.
Vertical foregrips.
Yeah, vertical foregrips, adjustable.
Well, how about the ATF and the pistols?
I mean, what difference?
The arm braces. No, the thing about the importation of pistols.
Yeah, that's going along with this whole thing.
That's like the Dracos. Because somebody was trying to, and it was like a HK, clone, like HK91. So like your G3 HK91 clone. There was a pistol, and they, they're not saying that it's law. They're just saying they'll use it as a determining factor, but it may not always be a determining factor for every pistol.
Exactly. Just the ones we don't like.
Well, then they'll do things like, oh, this agent couldn't hold it, and it's like a 4 foot tall little girl. And then when they go to put the pistol brace on the guy's arm, it's clearly he's jacked like a motherfucking honey badger, a fucking bear.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's clearly not designed to go around your arm. But if you reverse that and that
he
big
shows
old
the big and tall section down. Yeah.
If you reverse that and let him shoot the fucking pistol and let her wrap that brace around her arm, it would be the same thing. You're just doing things to play fuck games.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know it. And
fuck games.
Like that.
I heard that somewhere on the internet, and I loved it. So I'm saying,
who wants matching tattoos?
Fuck games. Stop playing fuck games. But that's what they do. They sit around and tinker and play and see how can we screw somebody over? How can we fuck somebody? When are y'all gonna start doing like actual crime? There's protesters throwing Molotov cocktails. Where's their $200 tax stamp at? That's an explosive device. So I don't know. But
how long before the coronavirus goes away?
It's already going away. They're cheering in the streets, no masks on, big left-leaning rallies. They don't care. All of a sudden, and it didn't matter when you were protesting for injustice. It only mattered when you were protesting for a haircut.
Yeah.
That's when the coronavirus. You were killing grandma if you wanted a haircut, but if you're fighting systemic racism,
you're good.
You're fine. The coronavirus knows what color you are, and it knows your intentions. So,
I don't wear a mask in public. Why haven't I gotten it yet?
You might have already gotten it and passed it.
I test negative all the time.
Don't know.
Let's be realistic. If anybody's going to get it, I've been to how many different states?
Yeah.
I mean, how much ground have I covered this year? And yet,
I ain't washed my hands since junior high.
Oh God! I don't.
Please don't tell everybody that.
I'm joking. I wash my hands recently because I'm not a.
So the outlook on everything. How do y'all expect maybe the next 4 years to go?
I say you better fucking hold on to your ass because it's going to be a wild ride.
Hell, the next 2 months are going to be a wild ride.
How long until Joe Biden gets whacked by Kamala and her Gestapo gang?
Before they push
speculating.
him out?
The speculation.
You think she'll push him out one way or another, or they'll
they'll deem him mentally incompetent.
They've already started the process of doing that. That's been a backlog thing where they thought that it was going to be used for Trump, but smarter people were like, well, what about if they just use this for Joe Biden?
Yeah.
Because he's the one that's really been...
would fall under that category more.
Because he's so... his gaffes and things like that have been really bad. I know that we're talking about... This is just so relevant right now. And I'm sorry for people that don't like politics. And I promised we really wouldn't get into that. But I didn't expect this to be so relevant in our everyday
We're not
life.
salty. We're just discussing.
Oh, yeah. Let me ask you this. Like I said, I know y'all you'd rather do guns than politics. That's fine. But do y'all think that Pelosi's going to keep the House?
I actually have been hearing rumblings that the Democrats are not happy with her.
Too far left. And they want to get more back.
Actually, it's the people that are lefter than her and people that are centrist and the Republicans. It seems like everybody
nobody's on
no,
Team
because
Pelosi,
she's acting like an idiot. And before he was even president, they were like making her... She was pissing people off because she was already calling president-elect. And the Associated Press hadn't even called the race yet. So you can't be doing that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pissing people off. It's like, shut up. Stop.
Yeah.
And she's been a major factor in holding back the stimulus that was supposed to come in. CNN chewed her ass out twice. And it's like, look, these people have caved. They've kowtowed. The Republican Senate has kowtowed. They've basically gotten you everything you want. Why haven't you passed it? And she literally broke on national TV.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a sight to see. I don't know how else to put it. And yet she won re-election this year. So somebody's out there voting for her. She won by like 70,000 votes.
Which was a little surprising. She did have she ran against another Democrat, a Islamic Democrat, I believe.
I don't know anything about
it. And, but yeah, won out over him. But she did. She went up against another Democrat.
I just don't see how you could keep... If it was that bad, and I didn't vote for Cornyn. I think he's an establishment person. I think that somebody else needs to take the reins. And the Republican primaries, because I'm a registered Republican, I voted for somebody else. I don't even remember what his name was. But Cornyn won the Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
And so I voted Libertarian just to see if somebody could get... I had no hope of him doing it. And he won by a major margin against... the Democrat lady that ran. And but he's an establishment guy, and he's been there since the early 2000s. I think it's time for somebody else to.
He's a rhino.
And well, he's done some things that are okay, and sometimes things that are not.
I know we're sitting here talking about politics, and I really want to get away from it, but I do have one question. How do you have more people vote for somebody than registered voters actually voted in a state?
I don't think that was true.
That wasn't true?
That wasn't true.
There's a lot of different disinformation on. There's the way this is going to have to all shake out is there's going to have to be.
It's going to take several weeks.
Another thing is, too, have you noticed how much involvement Facebook has had in the elections?
Mm-hmm. Yes. That's
it's like,
the problem.
Calm down, everything's okay, the votes are being counted, Joe Biden is now your president. That's the next thing you fucking see.
That's why I think you're going to start to see that that one that we've just talked about. I forget the name. Parler taking off. People are sick of this shit.
Yeah.
And we need it. We need something that's not going. And we need a platform that's not going to censor our speech. They've become a big part of our lives, and yet they want to regulate what people can say and what people can think.
Right.
And that's wrong.
Right.
If it is bad information, that is the catch-22.
I think that we're smart enough to cipher through bad and good information as human beings. You know?
I don't know about that. There's a lot of dumbasses.
Oh, there are a lot of dumbasses. But hey, why don't we talk about our 762x39 bills that we had talked about? You'll talk about the progress on them?
Actually, yes. That was an update we have. I think we all made a little bit of progress getting away from the garbage that is life at this point. How far are you, Taylor, along on your build? And we don't have to necessarily talk parts. I know that we haven't disclosed a lot of information towards everybody or each other.
I went ahead and bought all the parts that I needed for my particular build, just because of the political climate is changing.
I bought the parts I bought too.
And how about Sean? How about you?
No. Everything that I've tried to order has been back ordered indefinitely.
Yeah.
And so, again, hopefully by March I've got it.
Hopefully.
Well, I've told everybody for Christmas, just give me cash. If you want to give me anything, just give me cash because I'm working on that build. And I know we've got to buy Christmas presents for everybody and things like that. So I'm not going to be having a lot of money. But anything I get, it's just going straight into there. I've bought my lower, which just came in today. They called me yesterday and said it was in, but I can't pick it up till next week. And I ordered an upper.
I don't know when my lower's coming in. Lower parts kits have come in. So
I called a guy. I actually called a phone number and ordered my kit. He's going to build it for me, assemble it.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because he has all the parts. So
I've got a foul receiver on the way. Still haven't found a foul barrel yet.
And I think this Israeli foul. I think you're going to find that they don't take normal barrels.
Yeah. So I'm trying to be patient. I'm waiting on emails for restock supplies and stuff. So as soon as it comes in,
Are you going to cut that barrel down?
I've thought about it. What is factory? 21. I was thinking about going maybe 16 to 18, maybe 16.
I would do 18.
16's pushing it with the gas system.
Yeah.
So maybe 18 threaded.
18 threaded.
Run my can.
Would be 6 right there.
13 OSW, man.
Yeah.
And then I think I'll probably, as soon as I get that done, probably jump on a folder build.
Yeah.
Or maybe, I don't know.
A folder AK?
No, a folder
para.
foul. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. That sounds
good. If y'all want to build AKs, I got all the kind of parts y'all want. What did y'all think about my Cerakote?
It looks like a damn Halloween pumpkin.
That'll probably be, if you'll send it to me, that'll be the thumbnail for the video.
So that is, it's copper suede is the main color.
Oh, is it? Okay. I'd like to see that.
And then the other one is like this dark gunmetal gray.
It looks really good. It's so crazy looking.
I've had lots of mixed opinions about it from people.
Well, I mean, it's not like it's a tactical gun. It's a fun gun. So I think it should have a fun color scheme.
Yeah, I mean, and it was my first Cerakote journey. I actually had a great mentor teach me how to Cerakote. But, yeah, I know what to do. This was a good learning gun. It's a Draco, so people just laugh about me having a mini Draco to begin with. So.
Right. It looks cool. I mean, it's a really good job, especially for your first time to do something like that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, total props.
Learning curve.
I don't know anything about Cerakote. I'm a spray paint guy.
I like spray paint, too. The Cerakote, though, I mean, literally, there's a lot of prep work, sandblasting, then, cleaning your parts, because you do not want any oils on your gun parts, like from your hands. So it's all gloves. Trying to learn how to spray with the spray gun, and if you can spray paint really well and use a damn spray gun, just like spray painting, but you don't want to put it on too thick. You got to bake it. So I baked that one color. The color that's the stripes, that's the first coat. The second, and then you put your stickers on.
Tape it off.
You tape it off. Put your stickers. Like what he had some like sheets of like vinyl, like somebody like had a sticker cut machine. They cut out a whole bunch of different patterns.
Little stencils.
Stencils, and you just stick them on there, take it back, spray it, and then you let it bake again for a couple hours. Then you start taking your stencils off, and it's on there. I did have some flaking. I did have some spots where when I was putting the stickers on, I had taken one of my gloves off to help remove the stickers. I had touched a couple places. Granted, I had eaten some greasy street tacos, and there was a little bit of you could see where some oils had sat.
Yeah.
But other than that, it looks pretty good. It's just a fun gun. I mean, not every gun has to be serious looking.
Or serious in general.
And
now that one's still what, half MOA at 300 yards?
At 50 feet.
Oh.
It's 3 on MOA at 50 feet.
Oh, 3.
Yeah, it's going. I think with the rail, I'm gonna put a red dot on it. I have bought back in May a side folding brace for it that looks like a Galil stock. It has yet to ship. He has been apologetic every time I call him.
Oh, you didn't order it from Optics Planet, did you?
No, I ordered it from a one man shop that makes them.
Oh.
Optic Planet just sucks. We don't talk about them anymore.
We've railed against them.
Yeah. They're not going to sponsor us.
Stir the pot a little bit here.
No.
They do want to sponsor us. I do want to read an apology.
Well, that's all it takes, Optic Planet. That's all it's going to take for you to get on this show is Taylor's apology letter.
I'll be a shill for an apology letter and a $500 gift card.
That you can't use.
I can't use, yeah. Fuckers.
They said they'd apologize. They didn't say that your card would work.
Right.
He loads up his cart.
He checks out.
Checks out, and there's just nothing on it.
And they push that ship day.
Yeah, we're going to have to keep it on.
Or they just send you the wrong shit, and they don't give a fuck.
Oh, send you another empty box.
No, yeah, because my fucking slide fell out. But let's not talk about that.
Well, I've got to get a bolt carrier group, and I did call that guy and ask him what I was trying to do, and he said it might work, what I was saying.
Yeah.
But he's going to charge me $50 to $100 to do that, and by the time I factor in that plus a bolt carrier group, you're right at $50 more for just buying the bolt carrier group and not having to do
all the trouble,
go through all the trouble. So
yeah,
I'm just gonna go ahead and buy that bolt carrier group and hope it works. I don't see anything that says it won't. I've been trying to do a lot of research, and for what I'm trying to do, I have to have a specific bolt carrier group, and it's supposed to work.
Right.
But we'll know when we go to shoot it and it doesn't fucking function. But I'm down a bolt carrier group. I need a barrel, gas block, and probably gas tube. I've got everything else on board.
Probably a gas tube?
Yeah, I don't know what size.
I have a gas block.
I'm. It depends on what barrel I go with.
Are you going to do like a handguard over it, though?
I can't talk about it.
Okay, I have a gas block that's a Yankee Hill machine with a folding front sight. Would that tickle your fancy?
It might have had I not already purchased a handguard, where it might be too long, depending on how
long.
Yeah, it might be just too long.
Too baku. That's what it is.
And
I have a pretty good catch of AR parts. We can dig through and do some swapping since you've got an extra bolt.
I have to buy. The problem is right now is I haven't picked a barrel yet. I have one that I have 2 or 3 that I like.
Do you have your stock yet?
The lower's coming with the stock. I'm gonna replace it because I don't like. It's just a standard ass mil spec stock.
Mm-hmm. What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it. I just the aesthetic that I'm going with.
Oh.
I don't want that on there.
I have an update about 3D printing.
Oh.
So I have started playing with wood fiber filaments.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually printed a AK pistol grip using wood fiber, and I tried to stain it.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the car. I'm going to go grab it.
Okay.
And I'll be right back because it actually looks really well.
Okay. Well, while he's doing that, so I don't know what barrel I'm going to go with. I imagine.
As far as lengthwise or even brands.
16 is the length I'm probably going to go with because you could do more with it. Mm-hmm. I would like to have a 14 pinned, but you can't, but it's pinned and you can't ever
that's what it is.
Take it off or anything like that. So I'd rather be able to have that just 2 inches of barrel and be able to choose what muzzle device I want and maybe suppress it one day. That's possible. And so, depending on what barrel I go with, is going to change the barrel. What was that?
So, apparently Taylor just tried to toss his pistol grip, and he hit my ceiling fan, and his pistol grip did not win. My fan.
Oh my god! I can't believe we caught
Every
that.
time I make something, it breaks!
I can't believe we just caught that on audio.
That would have been really good on video
I know.
if anybody had gotten to see that. But yes, he went to toss me the pistol grip, and he tossed it into the ceiling fan, and the fan won.
Everything I build breaks.
Let me see it.
Build it better, son.
It's only on the bottom. It's not that bad.
We can glue it.
Yeah.
I can print another one.
You can print another one. Wow, it actually looks really good.
It broke in a clean line.
Well, yeah, it broke along
So
the
it's got
print.
wood fiber. So I tried to stain it.
You can smell the stain off of it. It looks cool.
Oh, is that why you told me I had your stain?
Well, you have that stain I brought. I had to have use black stain on it.
I've got like 6 different color stains back here.
It feels good.
It brought one too.
That texture's not bad. Let me, if I can pull it. If it hadn't have hit the fan.
Okay, so we get one of the regular AK pistol grip. We'll throw it at Sean's fan and see if it lasts.
Yeah, it probably will.
That's a pretty good fan.
Yeah. I can't believe you did that.
Fuck, everything I make fucking breaks.
I think it would have been fine had that not happened. But it does look good. It really does look good.
Check this thing out.
So here's a baseline to compare it to.
Okay. Should I throw this into the fan?
Oh, yeah, we'll try.
I like the texture on that, actually. Even though it's like...
honestly, I like the look of it, too.
It does. It looks really good.
Now, if it would have...
This for an AK, yes?
Yeah.
I'll print you one
I'll
more,
print you another one. We'll work on the...
I want one of these.
Okay.
We might have had some... we might have a new product to sell.
Yeah, well...
Very nice.
Sean was I threw it at the fan.
Dude, if you, laminated that, would that...
Polyurethane?
Well, I was going to poly it.
So I have a stain that has poly built in.
Yeah, I do too. I got some of that.
And, yeah.
That's right on the money, bro.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's just...
Taylor is leveled up in printing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The box of shame, maybe. Well, no, that's going to the
That's
box
gonna
of shame
have to go.
broke, but
that's going to the box of shame, but for personal reasons because you threw it at the fan.
Well, that's just like you dropping the shit I made.
I know. I was coming up the stairs and it just so excited to try.
3 stories.
Yeah, and I got all the way up the stairs, fumbled my keys, and it landed right on the prong section and broke.
Damn.
So I was actually going to rebuild that piece of carbon fiber.
Yeah, but I used it and it worked better without those stupid fucking prongs on it.
Oh, does it?
So I lost my safety spring, so the safety just flip flops back and forth.
That's great.
But
accuracy.
it worked, so I can't really complain a whole lot. That's all I got for my 7.60 by 39 build. I'm waiting to get the bolt carrier group, which is like probably going to be the next most expensive thing because it's so special.
Mm-hmm.
And my everything else is on back order because of extenuating circumstances. So until they send me my upper and handguard, I'm going to be looking for a barrel. And I have seen a pretty reasonable barrel for like $120. And then I've got one on the opposite end of that spectrum that's like $250. So depending on where I'm at when I'm at there, I would rather have the 120 because it's meeting all my specs.
Yeah,
it's just
now I did find it wasn't exactly what all I was looking for, but it was pretty damn close. And I may, just because of everything going on, go ahead and get it so that I can have a functioning rifle that's got almost everything I want. And then when all my other stuff comes in, get it and just kind of update it.
Right.
So I'm thinking that may be a route that I go.
Yeah,
soon.
it might. Maybe over time, like I go with this, if it can get in this 120 barrel, and then upgrade to the 200 later on down the line. Because it's a corrosive ammo anyway. You're probably gonna need a
What's
new barrel.
corrosive?
7.60 by 39.
Not now.
But it could be.
If you get it out of Taylor's room,
it depends. So so your stuff you're gonna buy at Academy, it's not corrosive. Not anymore. If you get some surplus stuff, surplus is generally corrosive. I've got a big old ammo box full of corrosive rounds. Yes.
So what? Okay, this is a good subject since we're on it. You shoot corrosive rounds. Do you need to go clean it as soon as you're done with it, or
it depends?
Chrome line, non-chrome line.
Well, and if your barrel's chrome line, that's one thing, but also your bolt can start to corrode.
Yeah.
You gotta get pitting on your bolt. I probably have the most experience out of all three of us with corrosive ammo because I have been shooting corrosive ammo out of military surplus guns my whole life. You want to clean it as soon as conveniently possible, because let me tell you
but
this.
Not a week later.
I have taken let's say a Mosin Nagant, and went for a range day, went shooting. I put it, posted up in the corner in my bedroom. I had, a week-long list of stuff to go back and do. So when I finally went back to it to go clean it, it looked like a sewer pipe. I mean, it had crystallized rust growing in it. And that's no bueno.
Did you clean it?
Yes.
Did you get it all out?
So what I started doing was, if I could not clean, like do a deep clean, so I don't know if this was like rumored, the corrosive salts in the primers and the powder, or I think it's in the primers, is what causes the corrosion. They told me that a gentleman told me that ammonia will neutralize the corrosive compounds.
So like an ammonia swab of some sort?
I would run a patch or two of Windex down the bore.
Yeah.
Just to neutralize the corrosive salts. I don't know if that's accurate. Now what I do is I'll usually run some bore cleaner down, either Hoppy's or GI bore cleaner.
GI bore cleaner?
Yes.
Remember Butch's?
Huh?
Was that Butch's or something else?
No, Butch's Bore Shine. The GI bore cleaner is actually like, if you
the one, yeah, I know.
You know which one. Like, you can feel the brain cells.
It's a bottle in a bottle.
Oh no, that's Butch's Bore Shine. Yeah, you can actually feel the brain cells dying when you smell.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I opened the first bottle and was like, and I was done.
That's like a bitch ass shooter. That like gets all your lead, copper, all the deposits out of your bore. Yeah, you have to clean. Your 7.62 by 39 now is not corrosive. Now, if you were going to buy some surplus stuff, which is hard, I don't really think there's much surplus 7.62 by 39 anymore on the market. Yeah, you would then.
Okay. Well,
or I could sneak some surplus some corrosive ammo in your gun. I might tell you.
Well, please don't.
Just for grins. How about that we do that as kind of like whose gun's going to hold up the best?
I don't know if I have enough rounds. So we're going to see, like, whose gun's going to... You want to make my gun the test dummy?
I thought all three were going to be test dummies.
Oh, do you want me to shoot mine out of corrosive ammo and not clean it?
Well, I just figured we'd all were going to do that.
Oh.
Right? And then we're going to drag it behind the truck. Like, this was going to be a torture test.
Oh, yeah.
Throw it in the pond.
Yeah, I'm down.
Zach?
I mean, I guess there's no going back now. So
We'll throw it in the pond and we'll let them all sit there for like 3 days. We'll come back and see who will shoot.
Yeah.
I'm crying on the inside.
Do we leave the mags full when we do that?
Yes.
Yeah. That way the ammo can sit out there, see who's cycling.
Yeah, and we'll see whose ammo's the best.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I like it.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No.
Are you worried your gun's not going to hold up?
No, I'm just
Well,
spending
no,
so much money.
The Dodge pickup test?
Yeah.
I'd probably do it behind the truck. I wouldn't put it in the lake and leave it there.
We could do the 3-story drop from Zach's house.
We could do, well, I wouldn't say no, but like my neighbors might not like that so much. We drop in AR-15s off the balcony.
I'm trying Knoxville and this is the gun drop.
Right out into the parking lot. Or we can, maybe put a little trampoline out down there and try to throw it on the trampoline and let it bounce. And then
are we going to do a torture test with them?
I think it would be fun for us to come up with some kind of torture test. We don't have to go to super extremes, but...
Drag it behind.
I think this is what we should do.
I definitely want to do an accuracy test and see.
We're going to do an accuracy test.
We'll bice them and see how they actually group.
We could do an accuracy test based on ammo. We can do a whose gun could go the longest without being cleaned.
That would be fun.
Before
we start having failures.
Yeah. I don't want to necessarily make, like, if we shoot corrosive ammo and we know it's corrosive ammo.
Yeah, no, that's different. We can shoot good ammo and continuously.
I'm just going to tell you. They're on the 7.62x39 ammo. There's poly-coated, in lacquer.
Yep.
The hotter that gets, you could have, depending on how tight the chamber is,
gummy.
It'll get gummy and stick. Also, we could do some kind of test metrics.
Yeah.
Do we want to do like a non-clean? Do we want to do it like a use of it? We could do the dirt test.
The dirt test. Which one's that? Do we
like,
do the freeze test?
Ian.
They did the mud test.
Yeah.
Did you see the one where they strapped the gun to the hood of the car and drove down the dirt road?
No.
Yes, that's the thing. And we got to use an AK as a baseline.
Oh, we could.
We can. Let's just finalize some tests.
Are we all doing the same optic? Or are we doing the same type of optic?
I figured the optic could kind of just be personal preference. If you want a magnifier, Ecotech Red Dot, if you want to put an actual scope on it or iron sight, I think just kind of
that's up to it's 100% whatever you're
doing.
And
as far as the accuracy test, like I said, I think we'll clamp them, bag them, and I just want to see the group. Are we doing
depending on the optic, maybe 50 and 100 and a 200. Or something
I was gonna say 50 and 100. I think would be ample.
And depending on what. If you have a scope, you're going to obviously probably do a little bit better than somebody that's running a red dot, depending on how far and, all that other junk. But we can finalize some tests in our before then. Maybe just a durability test, a cleaning test for sure. Nothing's something that's we're gonna intentionally break it or things like that.
You can't break an AR. Have you ever broken an AR?
No, I just don't want to leave it in a fucking pond for 3 days or whatever.
Why? It's mostly aluminum.
I just don't want to do that to my stuff. You can. It's your property. You can do what you want with it.
Fuck, we'll do one right now.
Then, yeah, we could probably use an AK as a baseline. Like, as far as accuracy goes, like, we can see if, like, this baseline AK, like, Sean's is really accurate. We were tagging that 100-yard plate all day.
Mine are accurate, too.
We could have a gambit. Like, these AKs shot this well, and then we post up with the AR 7.62s. How well did they perform compared to the baseline AKs? We'll have to come up with a better criteria for sort of some tests, but I think that'll do us for right now for this episode. This one might go ahead of the one we recorded the last time because how relevant it is. and the quality of the audio. I don't know if we really want to keep doing that bad quality audio because it's just so hard. If you've noticed anything, we have gotten a microphone, so it won't be better. As bad on your ears from now on. And I've seen that the metrics, we're getting a little bit more listens on Podbean. Like we had 26 total listens the last time I looked at it, and we had a consistent 10 listens every time on every new episode. So thank you for listening. I know some of y'all are out there are listening, and we very much appreciate you lending your ears to us. So listen for the drop. Send us some emails. Win a part of the Bucket of Shame. Maybe win a wood printed 3D grip. Who the hell knows? We'll see what we can come up with. But for now, I'm Zach.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Sean.
That's 3 Guys, 1 Bullet. Y'all have a good day. Make sex noises again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
3G1B Podcast is edited, written, and hosted by myself, Zach Moody. It was grounded and maintained on the intriguing conversational talents found in my 2 co-hosts, Sean LaPaglia and Taylor Pond. Please leave your comments, hate mail, and questions at 3g1b.pc@gmail.com or on our social media, Facebook, YouTube, Podbean, Twitter, and with luck, Apple Podcasts. Thanks, guys, and have a great day. Stay strapped.